Hi guys, it's Amy, Gable Stitcher, here with a special edition video. Today is Tuesday, April 28th, 2020. May is right around the corner. In fact, May's Friday. So a lot of people are filming StitchSania videos right now and planning for StitchSania. I've never done a full StitchSania, and 2020 will not be the year for that. What's a full mania, you may ask? Well, in 2015, a couple of people decided they wanted to start 15 things for the first 15 days of May. And the term StitchSania in the Facebook group was born. Since then, people have done 15 starts the first 15 days of May. People in 2019 to 19. Some people have done 31 starts, one for every day of May. Some people do Mania. They work on one project for the first 20 days of May. Some people treat May like the same month because it's just another month of the year. In the past, I have done Mania. I have done, last year, I think I did a Finish Mania, where I picked projects that were close to finishing to try to get done. This year, I had tried this year, my goal going into 2020 was to really get my number of WIPs or work in progresses down. I have finished a lot of things this year. I have also started a lot of things. But I'm feeling like I need something different because it's been a different year. We're going to be at home here for at least another 3 weeks. Kids are not returning to school this year. It's going to be distance learning for the rest of the year. I wanted something to look forward to. I was watching FlossTube this weekend, and I watched Stephanie from LindyStitches had a video about StitchSania. And I like her idea of StitchSania. I'm going to link her video below. So Stephanie is the designer behind LindyStitches, and she also is LindyStitches on FlossTube. And she had said that May was going to be StitchSania for her, where she was going to have a project that she wanted to get significant progress on, that she wasn't really motivated to work on. And if she made that progress, she was going to have a new start, reward herself with a new start on the weekend. I like that idea. So I'm going to participate in Stephanie's StitchSania. I went through my WIPs and I pulled out 2 things that I want to finish in the month of May, and a Sal stitch along that I'm behind on that I would like to catch up on. And then I pulled out some things I wanted to start. So I figured I'd share it with you. Printed out a calendar. So let's show some stitching. So the first day of May is Friday. So the first project I pulled out that I would like to finish, I gave myself, where did I put the cover sheet? I gave myself 6 days to finish. And that project is the Primitive Hair Spooky Countdown. I started this project in October of 2018. It has been a really long time since I worked on this project. I wanted to finish it by Halloween 2019. Didn't happen. And let's be real, unless I pull it out and actually stitch on it, it's not going to be finished by Halloween 2020. So let's get it done in May. This is being stitched on a piece of MCG textile linen that I coffee and tea dyed myself. And I can tell you that's why I dislike stitching on it, because MCG textile linen is not very even. It's not smooth, and I'm not enjoying the fabric. I love the design, love it. Don't like the fabric. So here is where I am right now. I'm using the called for DMC, although I did put a purple in. So I have the row I'm currently on of little boxes, 1 row below it, and then a bottom banner, like the top banner, a large one. I am going to pull this out the next couple of days in April because I think it's going to be a real push for me to get it done in 6 days. I think it's more like 10 days of stitching. So I'm going to give myself a little bit of a head start, work on it the next couple of nights. And if I pull it out on the 1st of May, I get a new start. So the first thing I'm going to start is 3 Tulips by Brenda Gervais. I showed this recently. This chart is on loan from Shelly from KeyX here on FlossTube and on Instagram. I am going to make this for my youngest daughter, Phoebe, who loves bunnies. And she picked out the fabric for it. She wants me to do it on this nice blue, which is being washed out a little bit. That's pretty close. I'm going to do it on a 40 count. This one kind of breaks my rule a little bit. It's 132 by 200, so it's long and thin. But like I said, this chart is on loan. I want to get it back ASAP. So that's why it's also a guaranteed start. So I'm really looking forward to stitching this. I think it's really going to be pretty. I have the color of the bunny. It calls for all weeks and gentle arts. Otherwise, I am just going to pull from stash for the, I'll just use the color cover picture, pull something close for my DMC or what overdyes I do have. So that's start number 1. May 4th through 8th will be, hopefully, last time I'm going to hold this up right now, complete this spooky countdown. I think if I, like I said, if I work on it the next couple of nights, I think I can get it finished by May 8th. That would be May 9th. I would get a new start. So the next one I pulled out to start, this I've been thinking about a lot recently. It's from Plum Street Samplers. It's called Miss Bingley's Library. So it is a quote from Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. And it says, "I shall be miserable if I have not an excellent library." There's Miss Bingley on the roof with a cup of tea and some books. And I obviously love to read. I have a library. And like I said, this has kind of been odd times. Been reading and stitching a lot, and I would definitely be a lot more stressed, anxious, and just unhappy right now if I didn't have the comforts of my needlework and books. So I find this very fitting right now. So I did the math. I always like do out the stitch count when I'm pulling something, because sometimes I can fit something into a standard size frame if I choose the right fabric. So I found that Miss Bingley's Library, the stitch count is 113 by 147. So it fits into my parameters. It's not huge. And if I stitch it on 46 count, it will fit into a 5 by 7 frame. So I could even put it onto like a shelf or something in here. I had the perfect piece of 46 count. However, I'm using it for something else. I'm using it for Save Your Sprays. It's gonna be a sneak peek of my stitching update. But I measured and I measured again, and I'll measure again and have my husband measure again. On the bottom of the fabric, I have more than enough room to do Miss Bingley's Library like this and cut it off. So that's my plan. It's a really pretty piece of silk weaver, 46 count for Miss Bingley's Library. Because, yeah, I need to cut it. The piece of fabric needs to be, I think, 6 inches wide or 7 inches wide. If it doesn't fit on this, I will definitely stitch on something else. But my calculations I just did, it should fit on here. I'm not going to cut it until after I'm done stitching. And I will have my husband double and triple check my math because he's an engineer and that's what he does. Very precise measurements. So we'll see. If not, I'll find another piece of fabric to do it on. Okay. May 11th. This project I have been wanting to finish for many years, at least 2. StitchSania and Seeds of Friendship. This was a class piece that I took. I took this class in either 2003 or 2004. 16 or 17 years old at this point. It's high time to be finished. So I said I would finish it in 2019. It never even came out to play. I said I would finish it in 2020. I put it on Q Snaps. This is as far as I've gotten. So this is going to be finished in May. I'm giving myself 2 weeks. Let me show you where I am. So I'm about halfway through. You can see that's really washed out, but those are it's all specialty stitches and silk. Those the colors are better. So I had started band 7. There were 12 rows, 12 bands. Band 10 and band 12 are big. So I figure if the first week I finish band 7, 8, 9, and start band 10, that will get me a start. So I need to have at least started band 10. Ideally, I'd like to get halfway through band 10, which is the band of trees. So the start that I am planning on May 16th is Suffrage Act by Little House Needleworks. The glare is horrific, but everyone has seen this about 500 times at this point because everybody and their sister is stitching it except for me. The stitch count on this is 129 by 85. If it is stitched on 40 count, it will fit into a 5x7 frame. So I pulled a piece of 40 count linen. This is Country Mocha by Zweigart. In every other count by 40 count, but 40 count, this linen is called Vintage Country Mocha. And 40 count is just Country Mocha. Why? I have no idea. But if you're wondering what the difference between Vintage Country Mocha and Country Mocha is, there is no difference except for the size of the linen. So I have a nice size piece here. This is a printed fabric. So the modeling you see on there is printed. The back of the fabric is just all one color. So I will stitch that on Country Mocha with not the called for, because it calls for all fancy floss. I will use my fancy floss or just pick DMCs. This week though, the week of May 11th gets an extra start, because May 13th is on Wednesday. And Julie, Kansas City girl and a Colorado world, and I are starting a new Halloween start on the 13th of every month this year. We are, if you want to follow it on Instagram, we're using the hashtag StitchHalloween13 on Instagram. A lot of people have joined in to do Halloween starts too, and it's been really fun to see what people are starting. So I want this start to fit into the parameters as well. So I pulled out an old issue of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher. I had been wanting to stitch something in this issue since it came out. This is fall 2018. And I don't want to show the pattern because it's on the other side. Is C is for Crow by Ravaris Designs. It just calls for 2 DMCs, 816 and 310. It is 121 by 71, so it definitely fits into my StitchSania parameters for stitch count. So I'm going to use the same fabric, Country Mocha. I have plenty of it. I have a nice size piece here. So once again, C is for Crow. And I know I've said this on like every video I've done recently, but this is a great magazine. I have the print subscription. And with the print subscription, you get access to all the online issues. So if you saw that, see that design, like I love that and I want to stitch it, if you subscribe to it print, you can still stitch it because you have the online access. So really great magazine. And that's my start for Stitch Halloween 13 for May. All right. So where does that bring us? It's back to my calendar. That brings us to May 18th. Monday, May 18th. That's the week I want to finish stitching Just Nan. Seeds of Friendship. I don't think I'll have an issue finishing that in the 2 weeks. And if I do, if I finish it before Friday, I'm probably going to work on my last project I've slated for the month, because that project, there is no way that I can get caught up. It's a stitch along. So if I have extra time during the month, I'm going to devote to that project. So, but my start for the 23rd of the month, this one's actually been kitted up since last year. And as soon as I watched the StitchSania video, I was like, I need to stitch that. This one I'll pull out. Clear. So this is a LindyStitches pattern. So from Stephanie, it's called A Stitch for Sweet Freedom. This is 104 by 139. So definitely fits into my parameters. I love this. This was one of the market releases from 2019 that I had to stitch. This and Savior's Praise. So it's time. So I kitted this up last year. When I was at StitchCon, I bought it there. I bought it from Stephanie's trunk sale, LindyStitches trunk sale at StitchCon. And I have it kitted up with a piece of 40 count dwarf, PTP dwarf fabric. So I think that'll be the perfect color for it. And I have it in a little project bag with all the floss and stuff in it. So that will be the start on the 23rd. So, yeah. All right. We're still on target. This is like the 5th time I tried to film this video because I kept losing my spot where I was in the calendar. So that brings us to May 25th. The last week of May. And I did one sal this year, and I am hopelessly behind. This is the Burgundy Band Sampler Sal Stitch Along. It is by iStitch, and there is a Facebook group. This is a paid Stitch Along. It's pretty inexpensive though. It was like $20 or $25 for the chart. And it's emailed to you every Friday. I am so far behind on this. This is going to be long. Like this is like 995 stitches long. I mean, it fits on, pretty much takes up this whole piece of banding. And I was really, really good at keeping up because one of my good friends is doing this as well. And I'd see her every Saturday in my stitching group and I'd work on it because she finished hers Friday night when the part would come out. I haven't been going stitching since the beginning of March. I haven't worked on this since the beginning of March. I don't even know how far behind I am on this. Let me see which week is. I'm on week 8. So there's no way I'm going to catch up on this. Each week takes me a few hours to stitch. So Best case scenario, I'm thinking I could catch up on 4 or 5 weeks. I think we're on week 15. But if I get close, like, that's a good thing. And if I have extra days in May where I've finished my other projects, like, I think I could maybe finish that Just Nan like Tuesday of the week after. Then the band sampler will go in that spot, so I can get as caught up as I can. So this one doesn't have like a definite need to make the goal. My goal for May 29th is that I stuck with my plans. I have 2 finishes. I have made significant progress on the band sampler. If that's the case, I get the start that I have been dying to start since I saw the sneak peek for Market 2020. This is by Kathy Barrick. AHTEE. It's a reproduction sampler of a Quaker. Love this. I love this. So I am holding that back as like my last start. So it's going to really motivate me to get everything done that I need to get done. This, does this fit into my rules? Honestly, let's see if it does. It's 147 by 187. So not really. I guess rules are made to be broken. I am going to stitch this on a piece of old stationery. It's 40 count. It is by Seraphim Fabrics. And I showed this in a recent video. I found some spool of Vicki Clayton hand-dyed fibers. This is Legacy Blue. And I'm going to stitch it with that. So I am so looking forward to stitching this. So those are my plans for StitchSania. So I am going, as I said, I'm going to link Stephanie's video in the drop down box so you can watch what she's planning. And let me know what you're planning. I would love to hear what other people are doing. Whether you have a floss tube video that you showed it on, or just tell me in the comments. Because this is, you know, it's out of the norm. It's a fun thing to do. And if you're not participating in Stitch Mania, StitchSania, Stitch Monogamania, whatever, enjoy what you're stitching. That's what this is all about. Just enjoy what you're doing. So, as I said, today's Tuesday. I'm going to do an update video at the end of this week to show you where my progress is on all my projects before I go into Mania. And I've had quite a few requests for a Blackbird dive video, stash dive video, and I think I'm going to try to do that next week. I'm gathering all my Blackbird charts and putting them together so I can be somewhat organized while I'm doing it. And that's it. I hope everybody is having a great week. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, subscribing, and commenting. And this should be fun. Let's see if I can stick to it. So have a great day, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Bye.